It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Liteforex social trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Hi guys, good afternoon. Let's start with quick risk warning as it might be very busy afternoon. So please bear in mind, trading FX on margin carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for investors who can sustain a loss some initial investment. Please do not invest the money you cannot afford to lose. Seek education, gain experience before risking real money. However, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Okay guys, so what we have, the risk on been continuing during the European session. As you can see, as we discussed, I've been looking to short gold. I took short gold from the intraday perspective. I already cut half, and now we are moving above the levels I would like to see. I move for a remaining half. I move stop a little bit lower. The latest comments, both from UK and China, suggesting that we might see some kind of the at least consolidation, if not a little bit of the turnover. I'm half long pound Swiss franc. I've been trading this this morning. I took into consideration the fact that we had this risk on sentiment. There was a huge squeeze, short squeeze on the pound overall on the market. And when the risk is on, Swiss franc usually is weaker. So I took long here. I cut on the move back below, right? So I didn't cut at the top, right? I cut when the market made new high and started to move below the previous high. Cut it half, and for the remaining, I have a stop profit a little bit higher. Now, what we discussed previously, I'm short euro dollar inside this supply zone, and based on the news which hit the market just ahead we started. Be careful, because you might think that it's a mismatch, but it's purely news-based trade. I took small short cable. So actually, I'm pretty involved. So for you, because we have this educational live trading room for you, focus on the chart, not on what is going on with my positions. Let me do what we are doing sometimes when we have educational live trading room. Let's hide working position. No worries, if there is a setup, that's why. If there is a setup, we are going to make the trades, but for you to focus on the chart, not on my positions, right? Actually, gold, because I do expect some risk off a bit. I took profit from the remaining. Now, what's the news? What I'm talking about? What are the news that hit the market? First thing first, in relation to the cable, the reason I grab tiny short purely based on the speculation that it might not be positive. That eventually election we might have the no deal Brexit late October as planned, and then the election. That's how it looks here. Then in relation to China, let me find the news in relation to the China. That they are facing possibility of the huge slowdown, but of course they have tools and to try to counter that. But it's showing that the damage, because of the trade tension with US, the damage is done already, looks like. All right, so you know, to make the damage is a moment. To try to rebuild after the damage, it's gonna take some time. All right, that's here. 1 second. Let me copy. Let me copy paste. There are first Vice Premier Liu about the possible counter-cyclical adjustment by the financial regulators. So that first thing first, it might be some kind of the RRR cut. So in that case, I'm watching this dollar Chinese yuan here because of this news which hit the market during the Asian hours, right? About that the US and China are going back to talks beginning of October with the consultation in the mid-September. That was what caused the risk rally, right? But this comments from this Vice Premier. I wouldn't say they encourage. So I'm not saying that we are going to straight reverse the current course, right? Jeez. What the? At least maybe some kind of the consolidation. I'm in a rush to providing this information because we are awaiting USADP, right, within the next few minutes. All right. So you know, it's easy to make the damage. It's much tougher to try to rebuild after the damage, right? So we will see. We will see. Watching this Chinese yuan, because that's what we discussed this morning, when we already knew about the news, right? I told you that okay, we're trying to break 714, 715. The next possible support is around 711, 710. We didn't hit that level yet, and then mid of that previous range. But we already started to build the lower shadow, right? So that's the latest intraday supply on the Chinese yuan. So these levels are worth to watch in case of the break to the upside from here. 2 or 3 ways of consolidation and continuation to the upside back to where we were before, right? Pound Swiss trying to recover a bit. My cable is not doing that well. Anyway, we are going to watch euro dollar, and you know what? Probably USDCAD, because we are inside this nice possible demand from daily. Okay. Because if we are not going to stop here, right, with the lower shadow, then, well, much lower levels might be in play. We have both US and Canadian job market tomorrow. By the way, you are more than welcome to join me. I'm going to cover non-farm payrolls live tomorrow here on Liteforex Global YouTube channel, 2:15 CET, 1:15 London PM, of course. So let me watch, because if we are going at some point to stop this positive sentiment, and then also I'm watching, that's what we discussed, but there is a still space. I'm watching Aussie USD as well. So we have 3 minutes. And what's the market expectations into the non-farm payrolls ADP? It's 148. The previous one was 156. So we will see. We'll see. But you know, guys, that's what we are talking. Always talking in relation to the job market. This monthly data from the US, and not only in relation to the cable as well. When there is a UK job market, guys, you know, I do understand that headlines is important, right? But headline is important from the algo perspective, right? For us, if we want first to see the dust to settle, for us, the devil is in detail, right? So we are always waiting for this earnings. Of course, the unemployment rate, headline number, wow, 200,000, oh, 300,000, wow, 50,000. Of course, the headline is important, but then because of this low inflation environment, the earnings, that's the thing I would say. Anyway, 1.5 to ADP. Of course, I'm not gonna trade straight. I'm going to try to figure it out how the market may want to react. Guys, don't forget, we are more than 24 hours with the risk on sentiment. So probably we are not gonna switch just like that to the off. That's what I've been thinking yesterday, but today it's a little bit longer already. So I'm not in a rush. Don't forget that later today there is an ISM non-manufacturing as well, and final services PMI, 3:45 p.m. CET or 2:45 p.m. London, and ISM is 4 CET and 3 London. Not sure if we are going to stay that long today. Depends what is going to happen. And also, because of all these things going on in UK, I've been watching FTSE, but DAX is testing nice levels we discussed previously. Looks like where is the number? Come on. Yeah, there you go. 195. Strong. So that's dollar positive. So yeah, let's have a look. You know, I'm short euro dollar. You know I'm short euro dollar, right? Just if you join a little bit later, you know that. But you know, if I'm going to take care about this right now here, we will have to sit and wait and whatever is going on, right? But let's assume from the educational perspective I'm not long. So let's have a look what we can do. We are testing this supply we discussed previously, right? Based on this broken swing low, based on this rejection, and then breakdown never tested, and that's what we are testing right now. So let's switch to the hourly chart. It might be nice engulf, but also it might be that we will try right now, because of the data, we'll try to push lower. But the big danger is if we are going to close back above previous hourly open. That's the big danger, because that might create Riley base continuation. So it might be, this current pullback might be treated then as a just correction ahead of the bigger move, right? So let's have a look what we have on 15. So I'm looking to sell right now. I'm looking to sell in between 62 and 67. That's how it looks for me right now. So we have this hour zone inside the daily. We have this intraday zone as well, right? So we get the data. So let's wait and see. No worries. Nothing is gonna. If there is a possibility, of course, I'm going to trade this euro dollar. So let's switch lower. Let's have a look even lower. And that's what I'm talking about, the DAX. We hit the supply we discussed yesterday, right? And there is a one more in that case, a little bit higher. But also there is a nice thing going on Nasdaq. There was a morning rejection around the levels we were discussing. So in case of Nasdaq, I'm going to wait for a stop count, and during the cash market, that's what we usually do. So my focus is here on euro dollar, and you know what? Let's have a look, because it might add into the positive tone. So not necessarily I want to fade currently commodity currencies. Let's have a look. What we have from the USD Swiss franc perspective. It's one big consolidation as of now, right now, on daily. Dollar yen towards 107. So you are testing this supply, and don't forget waiting for the stops. Right, and in case of this previous swing low, it's a very similar situation to what we discussed with euro dollar, for example, right? But here in that case, the tone is positive right now, so not in rush to do anything. Looks like it was a mistake to close the gold, but I can always reopen if I'm going to get the setup correct. You know, why I'm a bit, even ahead of the data, I've been a bit dollar positive. That's why short euro and cable. Of course, not big exposure, but what is behind, right? That's what we already discussed, guys. We were discussing this based on the dollar index. Finally, we hit, because we were talking that maybe we are going to close the gap. It didn't happen, didn't materialize as well within 1 day as the retest of the previous swing high. But we were talking about this consolidation, and we are talking about this mid of that consolidation, right? So in that case, if you look carefully here on this daily, what we are doing, or what happened already, right? We are trying to bounce. We hit this half of this range, as well as the possible demand zone on daily, right? 19, 15, 90, 98. So I'm not so surprised. Hence, I still think market may want to hunt for a little bit more stops, right? So it could be, you know, positive. If we are going to get the positive ISM, then I think till tomorrow, till non-farm payrolls, dollar is gonna be good and beat. But you know, if there is a disappointment, everyone is going to quickly forget about the good ADP and focus on ISM non-manufacturing, right? So that might be the challenge. So let's get back to the platform. Let's have a look, on euro dollar. As you can see, the initial reaction to the downside, but we are starting to build lower shadow. That's not great from the seller's perspective. Uh, 5-minute charts, that what was supposed to work as a demand first time, and it used to work as a demand on the first test. Now should work as a supply. We will see if we are going to get any upper shadow. For now, looks like V formation. You know, it still might be that we are going to try to hit that double top. Everybody know where the stops are right now. All right, upper shadow is building. And then 15 seconds left. $60 would be good. I'm not sure if we are going to get 60. We may try to close this gap as well. We should take this. We should see the 60. We might even try to finish the business around 65. Something is wrong with this internal chart. I can't see the copy. Sorry about that, guys. Ooh, looks like huge mistake. Did I close the short I had? Oh, come on, push it a little bit higher. There was some stop hunt on the Aussie, but still not quite there, waiting for higher levels. Of course, we took the stops we discussed earlier. So we are finishing this 15-minute candle. Let's see if we can try to make the move higher through this high towards this low 61, and how we are going to behave there. Don't forget that I'm short already, right? My stop from 61 is going to be 72. Now the thing is, why I decided one more time, right? The previous one we already discussed, so we know what is going on. Here we are inside the supply based. Oops, looks like, oh, I have to change my stop. A little bit higher. 75 from 61, so 14 pips. 14 pips, but I'm still targeting 10-15, so 50 pips, so I can do that. Still within the 3R minimum. So let me make it above this line. Okay, so what's behind, right? Green color, you know, if you are with me for quite some time, green color on my chart, doesn't matter time frame, represents what is going on daily chart. So we have this huge supply based on the broken swing low, this rejection, and right now we are bouncing from the bottom of the channel, and also this supply is in the middle of the way of this downward channel. Plus we've got this positive news, right, for $1, plus going into as low as we can. The latest demand I've seen here used to work as a demand first time, but after the break it should work as a supply, right? So that's what I'm counting on. Then what I'm targeting, if I'm not mistaken and my way of thinking is correct, so here we have a nice pool of liquidity, and that should open this 10-15 bottom. And you know, in case of the good ISM and tomorrow not bad payrolls, we might switch to the mood that, okay, even not 25 basis point cut in September. Well, why not? I would do that if I could. I mean, dictate the market conditions, right? I haven't been filled yet. Yeah, it's survived, so I'm going to move my stop higher on the pound Swiss franc for the remaining half, so it's a stop profit of 12 pips or no more. For the remaining half, 17. But you know, I don't want you to focus on what I have. I want you to, I'm not filled on euro dollar, as you can see. I want you to focus what we are discussing, current price action, right? Otherwise, again, for those who join later, you wouldn't listen, but just focus on current positions. And we are here to learn something. Some troubles ahead. You know, I'm not surprised, but I think those stops, that's what we are going to take. If we, you know, guys, right now, taking into the consideration the latest range, we are breaking higher. So in case of the end of the day, we are going to be here. I'm not going to fade that rally, right? Same story what we discussed yesterday during afternoon meeting, guys. Remember, I've been looking for a possibility to try to short US indices. But I told you that the later we go, so either if you are short, then you don't want to stay short overnight because of the probable news. We got the news. So similar story here today. Hopefully I didn't click anything. Oh. Just hit my table. I think our afternoon answer might be here post this China Vice Premier news. The key might be here. If we are going to back above 715, because guys, I'm not sure if my way of understanding is correct, right? But during the Asian hours, we've got the news that China and US are going to get back into the trade talks, right? But it's going to happen in October, right? Okay, let's say that's positive, so algo's pushing market higher. But half an hour ago, we are getting this comment from Chinese Vice Premier saying that the China is not in a good condition. Of course, they have plenty of tools to work with that, but it's slowing down. It's happening now. So now, in my opinion, we have the full picture how the market is manipulating, right? That's my view. Of course, I'm not gonna discuss with the market because I'm too small. But hopefully you got my point. Okay, time for the first break today, guys. So I'm gonna be back around the top of the hour. Charts are visible. I'm gonna mute my microphone. If you have any questions, feel free to ask on the chat. Enjoy the break, guys. Hi guys, we are back a little bit earlier. I don't like the early setup here, so probably I'm going to cut the one trade based on the ADP right at the top of the hour. Still, I need to close below 56, better below 50. 453, right? This suggests we might see just Riley pullback continuation. I'm going to have plenty of opportunities to join the party later on in case of the moving lower. So 1 minute left. I've got this second one, which is based on the whole daily zone, something different, not related to our meeting. That's what I told you at the beginning when I show you that I'm holding the short euro dollar. $56 is. Let's see. In the meantime, while watching this euro dollar, don't forget, guys, 345 final services PMI, 4 ISM non-manufacturing factory orders, 5 crude oil inventories, 545 CT, all times in CT, right? So -1 is a London. Government Council member Chambry speaks in relation to the Canadian dollar. Then 6 p.m. CT, 5 p.m. London, Swiss National Bank Chairman Jordan speaks. So it might be a busy evening. Because then I can reopen on the failure about this double top in case we want to hit more stops, right? Or if we are going to break 50, then on a kind of the retest. Again, I don't like this early close. You know what, just to avoid anything, I'm going to simply move the stop and we going on. And of course tomorrow, don't forget, there is a non-farm payrolls day, and in the background we are going to watch Canadian job market as well. And we start our meeting tomorrow 2:15 p.m. CT, 1:15 p.m. London. So you are more than welcome to join us tomorrow as well. It might be a little bit higher, a little bit lower today, later during the day. And I have some exposure also on the pound Swiss franc, a little bit cable, but it looks like cable didn't react yet into that news. All right, I've been out. So based on our intraday trading, let's have a look if we are going to get the stop count. pound Swiss, dollar yen. On this pound Swiss, I'm going to move my stop profit a little bit higher again for the remaining half. Secure 20 pips. Looks like we might do this 1-to-1. So let's make it even higher, 22. Don't focus on what I have, let's focus on what we can trade. Canadian dollar, maybe I'm going to look later around the EEA. Still, I think if we can manage to hold 31.80, we might see rebound towards 32.70, even towards pre-Bank of Canada high. In case we are going to close somewhere here or lower, that might be outside weak on the Canadian dollar, and that might be negative. Here was some kind of the outside week. Here was some kind of the outside week. So the bulls, if there are bulls around, they have to start to fight. You know, the combination of the good payrolls, bad Canadian job market could be the case as well. With the next few minutes, we are going to start to discuss US indices. Might remove some yesterday lines in relation to the Bank of Canada. Okay, it looks like pound is weakening versus Swiss franc. Yeah, there is a possibility of the swing high creation. You know what, guys, I'm going to cut that one here. The rest, all right, so that was the good one, and I'm going to try to reopen on eventually on the retest of this base ahead of the breakout. Pound is starting to weakening. Based on the news I provided to you at the very start of our meeting, I took the cable short. But if you are a Fibonacci fan, if you are going to get this latest whole move to the downside, there is a still possibility of the spike higher based on eventually 77 and 88. Do your homework, guys, and check it out. I'm holding this cable short purely based on the news right now. So let's have a look one more thing, because if the pound is going to move overall, we might see some fireworks here as well on the euro pound. And we might try to get back above the 90, because we tested the demand here, as you can see, guys, what we discussed some time ago. Right, so euro dollar might not be the mover. Euro pound, because of the pound, might be the mover. Interesting stuff. So let's wait and see for a second what is going on overall, and we will start to discuss indices within the next few minutes, guys. On the Canadian dollar, we are testing the latest supply on the lower time frame, but we are inside the bigger demand from the daily, right? Green color. So we need to see the breakdown. It's going to be very interesting from the oil perspective after the EEA. Either we are going to respect the falling trend line, but because it's a fourth approach, it might be attempt to break higher, and looks like at least this candle might be some kind of the breakout preparation. At least that's how it looks right now. But then, guys, taking into the consideration horizontal levels, If you remember, first one is around 58.50, but maybe finally this 59.60 is gonna be hit again, right? Plenty of stops to be taken out, so worth to be patient. But that's going to happen after our meeting, 5 p.m. CT, 4 p.m. London. There is an EEA announcement. Looks like market is again quiet ahead of the cash open. Let me check in that case. If we have a time, let me check in that case. Calendar, we know everything. Let me check the option expiration for you. So what do we have? Let's start with the dollar yen. Dollar yen is trading 107 or close to 107. To be honest with you, nothing extraordinary here. Nothing what could work as a magnet, right? Oil. Ha. Wow. Nothing. What else? Where we are trading dollar Chinese yuan 715. Nothing extraordinary. There is a big band in between 710 and 720. 710 is a 1.5 billion. 720 is 2.5 billion. Euro dollar. We trading around 1050. Yeah, 1050 is 1.5, more than 1.5 billion. So that could work as a magnet. So that's why that could be one of the reasons we haven't seen the breakdown yet. So in case of we have a ISM at the same time we have an option expiration, and if ISM is good, then we might see the breakdown. That could be the case. Yeah, so let's watch for a few more minutes, and we will start discussion. Probably Nasdaq today. I'm going to mute my microphone for a second. Have a question? Just ask on the chat. Okay, so let's have a look what's going to happen with this euro dollar. DAX yesterday. If you were a bullish, we had this bullish setup. Unfortunately, DAX didn't fall that low. I've been waiting. I've been waiting yesterday for that zone, right? If you remember, I've been more pro seller yesterday. But also we were discussing that it's not worth to try to hold overnight, so I didn't. So because of current price action, especially what happened over the Asian hours, I'm looking for this level a little bit higher towards 12 180, 12 200, right? So that's what I'm gonna to look at from the DAX perspective. I've been thinking, and I do understand. That's what I'm gonna to check tomorrow, right? Because in case we are going to get the strong weekly close, market may want to play towards the at least FOMC, if not towards the end of the September, may want to try to trade a positive tone based on this setup, phone call setup between US and China at the very beginning of October. So it might be more manipulation to the upside, right? So we will see. I'm very I'm overall currently I'm negative, but as I told you, I'm not gonna discuss with the market if the market will go strong to the upside one way. Now with NQ, right? That's what we have here, and we are approaching there is a possible over under as well, as we are testing right now the latest demand level from where we went higher, right? So that should be theoretically quite strong supply somewhere here. I'm not gonna be surprised. So I'm going to watch Nasdaq today. Of course, the deal is first I want to see stop count, right? But we might see first here on the 30-minute chart there is a nice demand based on this Asian hours after the break of yesterday high. I'm going to watch that level. You know what? I'm not saying that I'm not gonna. If we are going to fall first without the stop count, right? I'm going to watch. Maybe, just maybe, I'm going to decide to try it. But I'm not gonna feel comfortable with that, probably. So we will see. Why to trade if you are not feeling comfortable, right? That might be the case, similar to what we discussed on DAX yesterday. So let's, okay. Let's prepare ourselves for this first 5-minute trading range. Okay. As usual, we are going to measure to check right where is the cash open, where is the first 5 minutes high, and where is the first 5 minutes low, and based on this we will try to create the possible trading scenario. We need for that wider range, meaning that at least something closer to 35 points, 0.5%, right? 40 points, something around the 0.5% of the, you know, 78% currently would be 1% move, right? So within the range half of that, so something between 35, 40.39. Now euro is hitting another supply based on the intraday chart, and we are still inside the supply based on the daily chart. So I'm going to watch this euro behavior here. Just a reminder, we took previously the short based on the ADP and was closed break even. Now the question in regards to oil, if it's a just retest, pump it higher, guys, towards 60. Okay, we have a test of this possible demand on USDCAD. But we didn't hurt any sellers, to be honest with you, here around 30 to 20. So we might see a bit lower levels. But anyway, if we are going to get lower shadow, that might be the test, and we might see higher levels from here. The market is officially open. The cash market is open. So where we are, that's the cash open, and it's not gonna change. And let's start to watch the range. Through the roof. Yes, go higher. "15 minutes to PMI services and 30 minutes to option expiration and ISM non-manufacturing." If it's positive, I mean, if we are not going to get any negative surprise, then the dollar might rebuild a bit ahead of the payrolls tomorrow. 10 points range, now very narrow right now on Nasdaq. completely, I can't see reaction into the Chinese vice premier comments. Funny that market is reacting. Okay, forget it. Through the roof. Okay, maybe here, guys. Shall we? Maybe we will do this different way. We are not going to make a break. We are going to go through the PMI services, and then we will see what is going on with manufacturing, non-manufacturing ISM, and then we will try to recharge the battery ahead of the non-farm payrolls tomorrow. I think that might be the good solution for us. Very narrow range. We took out the latest stops from the pre-market. All right, nothing for me here on the Nasdaq. Right now the range was too narrow. Canadian trying to, yeah, maybe that's just test. And then was the bit of consolidation. We're trying to get out, retest. But what about this supply? It was tested and especially that the sentiment and the oil actually supports Canadian dollar. Don't forget, guys, that we have a plan for Canadian yen, Canada yen. But we were not even close to the entry, as we were talking about something around 80.20, 80.79, 80. So not even close. Looks like the biggest mistake today for me, it was closing the rest of this gold, even with profit, but tiny compared to what is going on right now. Oh my goodness. Lesson learned. Yeah, the reason is, you know, it's good that I have to say loudly that lesson is learned, because you know it happens sometimes that I explain to myself those two news as a negative, right? But come on, what kind of the negativity we see right now? None. Pure risk on. 106.90, but there is no option expiration around the current level for dollar yen, so there is a free space here, just a psychological 1.7 round number, but the stops are a little bit higher in my opinion. So we discussed 107.30 previously. I'm trying to check the news services, nothing extraordinary as of now. Let's check the gold one more time. So that's the zone eventually. But that's the weekly open, and there might be some buyers as the 50% of the previous range as well. So we discussed this. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Some activity around 107 on the dollar yen. That surprise here. Was it really just test? Why is this surprise to me is because of what we see around, right? Euro dollar a little bit higher, positive tone, oil higher, and Canadian fighting here. So there was some kind of the effort, but probably not what bears were expecting, right? At least for now. Two minutes to PMI services. There you go. We have President Trump is tweeting. Really good job numbers. Something is cooking. So that would explain Canadian dollar. No reaction on the Aussie yet. So my gold is going lower in that case. Jeez. Okay, let's have a look what we have with this PMI services here. Based on the NASDAQ price action, looks like not that bad. Or 50.7 expectations, 50.9. It's better than, you know, maybe some were expected below 50 as manufacturing. Okay. Now tell me what next. Stops has been hit. We are talking about post-China news this morning. So the things are going to be interesting right now, maybe. There is a joke going on in relation to the President Trump tweet that maybe he was not aware that this is just ADP and he leak non-farm payroll tomorrow, non-farm payrolls. Well, that wouldn't be the first time. That might be something behind. That might be something behind. Stops are done on NASDAQ and we are starting to pulling back. buyers are safe right now. So I'm going to look to sell this gold again on a rally towards this time towards 40, if seen. If you are trading oil, don't forget, because of the long holiday in US, the EEA will release the data at 5 p.m. CT, 4 p.m. London. And don't forget that yesterday private API was in favor of the sellers. So if that's correct, that President Trump leaked the non-farm payrolls tomorrow, so I don't know, from the FX perspective, we need those earnings. Dear President, could you leak the earnings as well? Over under might be in play, but not with this sentiment. Not now, not here, not yet. So if that's correct, guys, then if we see some kind of the pullback right here, right now, on the dollar yen, so that might be the previous consolidation. So in that case, if we are going to take mid of that consolidation, we are talking about levels close to 106.50, right? That also those previous stops here. But you know, to be honest with you, I really don't know what President Trump leaked. So would be very careful. But with tight stop, we are still above. That's what we discussed this morning. We are still above Monday high, so that's double positive right now. Yeah, and I told you, not this time. It's too strong. So we are about to hit 7,800, 7,850. 7,850 based on my chart, at least. That's gonna be double of that original first 5-minute range. There we go. But the first 5-minute trading range itself was too narrow. So trying to summarize slowly as we are waiting ISM, I've been trading euro-dollar during our meeting. I've been trading euro-dollar previously, what you've seen at the very beginning of our meeting, and I've been showing you from time to time, but it's not related to our afternoon meeting. I've been also long pound Swiss franc in a positive way, been short gold, but close too early. But you know, it's always good to comment after, right? But I've been lesson was learned, right? You know, if we are going to get the positive non-manufacturing, I think dollar might get back the strength. Some kind of the profit taking ahead of the non-farm payrolls might be in case. So we might see the pullback of euro dollar towards 110, I would say. So I'm going to look to. Of course, we are going to be together here still. So I'm focusing on euro dollar, and I'm going to focus eventually on either Canadian or Australian dollar. You know, the only thing is that I'm not sure if it's a good idea to try to sell them right here, right now with this positive sentiment. I'm short cable, as you know, but it's based on the news I provided to you right at the start of our meeting. And still around the was green, but right now it's around the open. So I can focus on euro dollar, maybe dollar Swiss franc, because with this sentiment, Swissy might be the victim eventually. And I'm not gonna do anything in case of the weak manufacturing, unless there is going to be retest of 7,850 on the Nasdaq with the rejection, but it has to be really downside surprise. Maybe DAX, right? Because we are testing the we are very close to the few supply levels we discussed before. I don't want to be too exposed ahead of the payrolls tomorrow. If you remember, some time ago we were discussing this. So above 7,850, eventually It's a daily green color. Eventually we might retest the low from the 30th of July, right? As we were fighting with this rising trend line connected through the tops, and we hit the stops, so it might be even, if not here, might be even 7,910.15 based on my chart. So not in rush. And I'm still sitting short on the euro dollar as well based on this mid channel, but the stop is much higher. I'm targeting that what we discussed for quite a few days already. 108 and then closing post French election gap. All right, 1 minute left, guys. So let's see if we can have some fireworks, or market is going to go sleep ahead of the non-farm payrolls tomorrow. So there is no fear on the indices. Either way, bad news, rate cut, let's push it higher. Good news is a good news. So no fear on the Nasdaq, a little bit here on the dollar yen. Trying to hold 1525 on the gold and weekly open blue dotted line. And there you go. So Nasdaq gave us an answer, looks like, at least for now. So looking for any kind of the rally on the gold to try to reshort it. From the intraday perspective, I want to see the break below 50, rally back to 70, and then I will try to. So I want to see from this intraday perspective to what we discuss. I want to see in case monster, the ISM is monster. So I want to see this type of the price action. I want to see the break of this 55.50, then eventually rally back towards 70, 68, 70, and that's gonna be my short setup. Dollar yen probably it's not gonna happen in that case. So just need the bounce on the gold. Oh, what a mistake I made. But it's, again, it's good to talk while I'm out. 35, 38, I might look for short on gold. May look for long on the dollar Swiss franc. Because probably we are going to do at least this 1-to-1. meaning that we are going to retest the low from the 4th of September. We are talking about the 98.57. So we are about 15-20 pips from now. Of course, I would like to see some kind of the pullback here. So what we have here, we have another way on the smaller time frame, some kind of the consolidation failure here. So maybe we will retest some lower levels. So the levels close to 98.25, 98.15. That might be the answer for dollar Swiss franc bulls. Monster number, guys. But overall, I'm focused on the euro dollar from the intraday perspective. I'm staying short euro dollar, staying short cable, skipping for now Nasdaq, looking to sell gold on Riley back 35, 38, maybe some spike a little bit higher. Not gonna touch oil because even with the worst EA, we might see just the spike downside, but overall sentiment with falling gold, we might see oil higher. So I'm not gonna touch oil as well. So if you have any questions, that's the great moment to ask. No, looks like we got our answer on the USDCAD, right? Looks like it was just test. What we had here. Still 32 as a demand, intraday demand right now. And don't forget that we have some Bank of Canada members speech later today. And of course, Canadian job market tomorrow. So be careful with Canadian out there. Aussie instead. If that's latest range and we want to double that range, that would ideally hit our selling level based on the monthly chart, 68.46, 68.50. So I think the best plan is to try to euro dollar and then try to join the pound as well. But of course, based on what we have, what we draw here, right? So first we have to take out this latest low, Riley back, 68.70. And the target is going to be around 10.15. Stop, of course, above the high. Guys, it was my pleasure to be with you today again. It wasn't that busy like it is sometimes. Don't forget, we are going to cover non-farm payrolls tomorrow. We are going to cover live here, Liteforex Global YouTube channel. We start 2:15 p.m. CET, 1:15 London. You're more than welcome to join me. And that's it for today. It's time to recharge the batteries. All right? Time to recharge the batteries and be ready for tomorrow, for fireworks. Dollar has to rebound strongly to avoid the situation that the weekly chart looks ugly. All right? So that's what we are going to monitor tomorrow as well. Have a great rest of the US session today. Don't be trapped, guys, and see you tomorrow. Goodbye.